So, natal astrology is probably the most popular branch of astrology today. Natal is looking at the heavens when an individual was born and saying something about their lives. But did you know there are other branches of astrology and other ways that you can use it? For example, there's mundane astrology, which is interpreting the events of the general world at large, political, local, things like that. That's mundane. Electional astrology is deciding the best time to do something based on the astrology. And there are other branches. The one I want to cover in this video today is called horary astrology. Horary. It's hard to say. Too many R's. Can we change this? Horary astrology is a form of divination. It's asking a question and reading the chart of the moment to get the answer to the question. So in this video, I want to cover kind of what to expect from a horary reading and what kinds of questions you can ask. In general, you can ask the heavens pretty much anything. I am constantly amazed by how much the heavens actually care about our lives. I mean, things that, you know, I lost my keys, I can't find them, I've looked everywhere, oh my God, where are they? And the horary will give you clues as to where to look. You know, in the scheme of things, like, it's just a set of keys. It's amazing that the stars, which are millions of light years away, you know, are going to answer my very small question, but they do. It's incredible. It constantly blows me away. But there are some rules about the types of questions to ask. So, for example, first of all, it has to be a situation that's personal to you, right? You can't, or someone close to you. You can't ask a question about celebrities, you know, what is Kanye doing today or whatever, or the random person you pass on the street, or, you know, if it's not related to you in your life, you're not going to get the answer to the question. It also has to be specific. So, for example, maybe you want to, it's your birthday and you want to kind of ask, like, how is my year? How's this year going to go? Perfectly fine question, but it's not really appropriate to horary. It's more of a broad question because it covers such a large period of time and it covers like your whole life. So for a question like that, I would recommend a natal astrology reading, something that would use a technique that's based on the natal chart, not horary. Even a question like, will this project go well? I mean, that's kind of iffy. I might work with you a little bit like, well, what are you specifically concerned about in this project? Are you wondering if your partner is trustworthy, or is it going to be beneficial for my career or something like that? That one, you know, it really depends on the situation. But in general, you want to be as specific as possible. Just understand that the answer that you get is going to be symbolic in nature. The heavens can't give you specific, like, proper nouns, right? Or, you know, go down to the end of the street and turn right and then go to Elm Street and look for, you know, it's not going to be that specific. It's going to be a symbolic type of answer. So, for example, I had a friend, and this was when I was learning horary, so I was still getting my feet under me, and she asked, where should I move? Because she was planning on moving, and she, you know, had some issues with her career, and she wanted to, you know, but hadn't picked a location. So the chart can't give you, like, a city name. It can't say, like, New York or Austin or something like that. And if I were doing this now, I might sit with her and maybe coach her a little on the question. Maybe we can narrow this down a little bit, but I just took the question as it was because I was just learning. And interestingly, the answer we got was somewhere cold and wet and north of where you are now. Now, I live in the Phoenix area in Arizona, and she ended up moving to the Pacific Northwest, a city in Oregon. So it ended up being a place that was cold and wet and north. So it did end up working out, but you see the answer is kind of more symbolic and not a specific city name. So, you know, you have to kind of get your expectations ready for the reading. Another rule that I would say for your horary questions is it has to come from a place of, let's call it, anguish. It has to be a problem that's really bothering you and it's really weighing on you. You have to have already tried to solve it already. You can't just ask a question and the first thing you do is turn to horary. You need to have tried everything else first. The heavens expect us to be adults. We are co-creators with the universe. I know that's kind of a cliche, but it's true. You cannot live by divination alone. You need to live in this world as a responsible agent and try to solve your own problems. And the Hori comes in when you can't. When you hit a dead end and you've tried it, you've looked everywhere, you've tried solving it, you've gone to therapy, whatever the situation is, and now you have nowhere else to turn. And that's when the heavens say, here you go. Here is the clue for the next part of your journey. The metaphor that I like to use is that Hori is like a flashlight. Let's say you're in the forest in the middle of night and there's no light and you can't see where to go. And then someone turns on a flashlight and they shine it on the path in front of you and you can see the next step ahead of you. Now, it's not a spotlight. You can't see the entire forest. You can see the next step to take. And, you know, you have to kind of get your expectations kind of ready for that. You know, most situations are complex and they're going to take a while and they're going to take a lot of steps. And, you know, there are a lot of pieces to this. The way that I help, my helpfulness is being at that point in the journey where I shine the flashlight and I say, this is what I'm seeing right now. And this is the path where you're on, and this is the next step. Now, unfortunately, sometimes the flashlight is saying, hey, look at this path. It's leading to a dead end. And if you go down this path, it's not going to take you where you want to go. I can't tell you all the other paths, if they're going to work for where you want to go, but I can tell you this one that you're asking about, I'm sorry, it's not super helpful for you right now. And that leads me to my final point, which is one of the hardest parts of my job. And I love Hori and I love helping people. But it's really hard when I have to tell the client, the thing that you want, I'm sorry, it just doesn't look like it is going to work out. It's hard to be the bearer of bad news. So the final rule for Hori is you have to be ready for any answer. The real answer, because Hori is dead honest. It is just blunt. So, you know, if hearing the answer to the question is actually going to weaken you, then don't ask the question. Sometimes we do just have to take life as it comes. So think about, imagine in your head asking the question and getting the answer that you don't want to hear. Is that going to set you back, or is it going to be helpful? You know, I really believe that sometimes it's better not to know. So to recap, the four things to think about when you're asking a Hori question. One, it needs to be personal to you or someone really close to you, that you have a stake in it. It needs to be about a specific situation. It needs to come after you have tried everything else and you actually need the guidance. You know, a flashlight is of no use in the daytime. You turn on a flashlight, it's not going to help you because you already have light. It needs to be in a situation where you don't have other light available. And then finally, are you ready to hear the answer? For real. Are you really going to be okay hearing any answer? So all of that said, if you'd like to book a Hori reading with me, my website is seebystarlight.com, and I look forward to hearing from you.